Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to take a journey to a place you might not think about very often, deep inside your own body. We're going to meet the trillions of organisms that call you home. Yep, we're talking about your gut microbiome, this incredibly complex and powerful world that's absolutely essential to your health. Let's just start with a number. And honestly, it's a number that's pretty hard to wrap your head around. 100 trillion. That's the best guess for how many microorganisms are living inside your gut. It's a bustling metropolis of bacteria, viruses, and fungi, and it's one of the most densely populated places on the entire planet. You know, for the longest time, the common wisdom was that microbial cells outnumbered our own human cells 10 to 1. Now, newer estimates have brought that ratio closer to 1 to 1, but just think about that for a second. The point is still staggering. It's led a lot of scientists to stop thinking of us as just individuals, but as a superorganism, a genuine blend of human and microbe. Which, of course, brings up a fascinating, kind of mind-bending question. Where do you end and your microbes begin? I mean, they influence our digestion, our immune system, even our mood. Okay, let's dive into this hidden world and see what really makes it tick. So the first thing you have to understand is that your gut community, it's totally unique to you. It's like a microbial fingerprint. No two are exactly alike, and yours has been shaped by, well, pretty much everything, from your genes to where you grew up. And the science on this is really cool. What this quote is basically saying is that the difference between your microbiome and someone else's is way, way bigger than the day-to-day changes that happen inside your own gut. It's a remarkably stable, personal signature. So what makes it so different for everyone? Well, it's a whole cocktail of factors. The journey starts the moment you're born. Even your method of birth gives you your very first dose of microbes. And from there, your genetics, your age, where you live, and especially your diet and any medications you take, they all work together to craft this one-of-a-kind internal ecosystem. Okay, so we've got these trillions of tiny roommates. What are they actually doing in there all day? Well, it turns out their job description is huge. It goes way beyond just helping you digest your food. They're a core part of what makes you, you. First up, the one most people know about. Your gut microbes are absolute powerhouses when it comes to digestion. See, they have all these enzymes that our own bodies just don't, which lets them break down complex stuff, especially dietary fiber, that our own cells have no idea what to do with. And this breaks it down perfectly. So you eat things like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, stuff that contains what scientists call microbiota accessible carbohydrates, or MACs for short. Your microbes then ferment this fiber, they feast on it, and as a thank you, they produce these amazing compounds called short-chain fatty acids. And these SCFAs are critical. They literally fuel the cells of your gut lining and help keep your immune system in check. But it's not just about digestion, not even close. Your gut microbiota is also like a personal trainer for your immune system. Right from birth, these microbes help fire up, train, and regulate your immune cells, essentially teaching them how to tell the difference between a friend and an enemy. A healthy gut is absolutely fundamental for a balanced immune response. And then there's this is the part that blows most people's minds. Your gut is often called a second brain. Why? Because there is a constant two-way conversation happening between your gut and your actual brain, all through this complex network of nerves and chemical signals. And here's why that's so important. This gut-brain connection has a massive impact on our mental health. You know that feeling of butterflies in your stomach? That's not just a saying. It's a real biological thing. And with the gut producing the vast majority of neurotransmitters like serotonin, the health of your microbiome can directly affect everything from your mood to how well you sleep at night. Okay, so this all leads to a really critical idea. What you eat doesn't just feed you, it feeds the trillions of microbes living inside of you. The choices you make at every meal can radically shape this inner ecosystem. The research on this is crystal clear. Long-term dietary patterns lead to very distinct microbial communities, which are sometimes called enterotypes. For instance, diets high in animal protein and fat tend to create a community dominated by a type of bacteria called Bacteroides. On the other hand, diets rich in plant fibers are often associated with a Prevotella-dominant gut. And what's wild is how quickly this can change. Studies have shown a major shift in diet can start to alter your microbiome in as little as 24 hours. So, this raises a really important question. Especially for us today, right? In a world full of processed foods, What happens if we don't give our microbes the fiber they need to survive? What happens when their favorite food is scarce? Well, the answer is not great. As this quote explains, when they're starved of fiber, some microbes don't just die off, they get resourceful. They might turn to the next best food source available, the protective mucus lining of your own gut. And over time, that can erode this critical barrier, which can potentially lead to things like inflammation. Okay, so knowing how incredibly important this ecosystem is, how do we become good landlords to our microbial tenants? The good news is we actually have a lot of tools we can use to help support a healthy, balanced gut. One strategy you've probably heard a lot about is probiotics. These are the good guys, right? They're live, beneficial bacteria that you can introduce into your system, usually through supplements or fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, or kimchi. The idea is to help replenish and support your existing gut community. Now, the other side of that coin is prebiotics. So if probiotics are the new bacteria you're adding, think of prebiotics as the food, the fertilizer for all the good bacteria you already have. And the key here isn't just one kind of fiber, it's variety. You want to offer a whole buffet for your gut bacteria, because the more diverse their food is, the more diverse and resilient your inner community will be. But at the same time, it's just as important to be careful about the things that can disrupt this delicate balance. Antibiotics are a perfect example. Now, they can be absolute lifesavers, of course, but they're often like a bomb going off in your gut. They don't always distinguish between the bad bacteria and the good ones, and they can wipe out huge portions of your beneficial microbes, throwing the whole system out of whack. You know, the science of the microbiome is still pretty new, but it is, without a doubt, one of the most exciting frontiers in all of medicine. It's opening up some incredible possibilities for how we're going to approach health and disease in the future. We're already seeing some of these advanced therapies come to life. Fecal microbiota transplantation, or FMT, sounds pretty wild, but it's been incredibly effective for treating tough infections like CF difficile by basically rebooting a person's gut with a healthy community. And looking ahead, we're right on the edge of things like personalized nutrition plans tailored to your unique microbiome, and even developing designer probiotics to treat specific diseases. And all of this leaves us with one final thought. We know this amazing internal world is constantly sending us signals through our digestion, our energy levels, even our cravings and our moods. The science is making it clear every day that our microbes are talking to us. The real question is, are we learning how to listen?